and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and finally the cooler conditions prevail. Getting much better temperatures this afternoon. Some folks even better than others because of that rain-cooled air. So that's really what we've been watching all afternoon. Rain showers calming down and temperatures still sitting pretty in the low to mid 80s for a lot of locations. So that's what we're going to be walking through, is what to expect with Friday's showers. You know, how often, or should I say how long, will those showers stick around for? What impacts to expect? Will it be more widespread than today? All those questions going to be answered here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. What we're also going to be tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center, cooler temps tomorrow. Not enough exclamation points for that graphic right there. That is great news moving forward. Today was cooler. We get even better tomorrow. And then we're also talking about the calm before the storm, temperature edition, because we're going to be experiencing calm temperatures tomorrow, around average temperatures, should I say. But come next week, we'll be wishing we had these conditions again, because those temperatures will be so high. The highest temperatures of the year are expected by then, just to give you a little perspective of what to expect. So just buckle up, all of that coming up in the forecast ahead. So plenty of stuff to stay tuned for. 79 degrees though in Amory. I was saying low to mid 80s. I thought that was an underestimate, but 79 in Amory. A lot of that thanks to the rain-cooled air, and that's just a result of, for a lot of us this evening. Still those humidity values coming in pretty high, so those feels like values even tomorrow going to be a bit higher than what those temperatures are actually reading. I just need to adjust my entire temperature gauge, because Starkville 77. I mean, we are cooling off nicely into the overnight hours, a much different story than the past couple of nights. So soak it in, enjoy it, because it's not sticking around forever. Our Mississippi Live Weather Radar, basically we had a busy afternoon. Let's go ahead and loop that back about 6 hours to give you perspective. You saw all those showers moving through 55, those showers there in Chickasaw County, then transitioning to a calm evening altogether. And now as we take a look at the current radar, the only thing we're tracking is down in Winston County. You can see the isolated showers just continuing to develop over the last hour or so, right over that Fern Springs, Handle, and Ellison Ridge area. I mean, it's not going to be anything significant, and even some of that back there towards Arlington and Plattsburgh, that moving there towards High Point and Kerr, but not expected to be too much more long-lived. You can see it peak there towards Bond before starting to dissolve on out, crossing Highway 15. So this will continue to move northwest, but overall, not expecting significant impacts. When we're talking about storm tracks, let's carry that out to Plattsburgh, and they're moving about 15 to 20 miles an hour. You can see a few times listed in there. I'm going to swap sides here real quick. So you can see those times: Plattsburgh 10:06, Vowell 10:30, Hines by 10:32, and then East Macedonia by about 10:40. This one back behind it, moving north and west as well. We tracked that out, the most significant part of it, should I say, over towards Louisville. And it looks like Louisville, you might be getting a little bit of those showers. Probably going to be more of a sprinkle by the time it reaches you guys. By 10:36, Calvary 10:41, and you see Estes by about 10:26 a little bit before then, just basically riding 397 right into downtown Louisville. But overall, it's been a calm afternoon, and we've just been enjoying that rain-cooled air, especially for folks up north. That low that's out in the Gulf, about to make landfall over there towards Galveston and Houston, Texas, not as a tropical anything. So don't think that this was a significant storm. All it did was provide much needed rainfall to areas that still need some rainfall for that cooling mechanism and cooler temperatures. So that's going to be a great sign moving forward. And we should say thank you for all that it's been able to do for us here in North Mississippi. So as you can see, I mean, with that rotation, we have that counterclockwise rotation, cycling that in from the Gulf, and you can see all those showers that are forming as a result, and of course right here in North Mississippi included within that. But whenever we talk about showers, we say the further north it goes, the less likely it is to continue to develop. And the reason why is because look at how far we are from this Gulf moisture. We're 250 miles directly from the Gulf. And so whenever you lack that moisture, as it goes through all of the terrain that is Mississippi and Alabama, 260 miles, that does enough damage to it that it's not going to be too long-lived. And when we talk about the forcing mechanism from the heart of that low, all the way, let's just take it to Attala County, 330 miles. So as it wraps around, just loses that forcing mechanism for it to continue to form, and that's why we have not seen too many showers north of Highway 6. Honestly, we've been pretty lucky to see it reach south of Highway 82 just because of how far away that is from the low. Because while it's 330 to Attala, it's probably about 430, 450 to reach all the way towards Tupelo. So looking at the first 12, that's what we're tracking is the remnants of that moisture that's still trying to stick around, that 10% chance down around Winston County. That dissolves by midnight, and we're staying dry overnight. By the time we get towards tomorrow morning, yes, it is starting above average, but don't let that fool you. Temperatures by the afternoon looking much better. Reason why is because cloud cover starts to build as early as 11 a.m. And we'll see that here coming up on our surface analysis and really over the next couple of hours. Just because that cloud cover is building, it's acting like a blanket in the sky. We know when we put a blanket on, it keeps us warm, right? Well, same thing it does overnight. So we put that blanket on over North Mississippi, and that'll keep our temperatures from dropping too much, keeps that warmth around, keeps that heat around. But as we head into the forecast tomorrow, that same heat that's in the atmosphere will continue to recycle through the atmosphere throughout the day, so not rising too much. That sunshine not getting through to heat up the air too much. So that a little bit of sunshine that's added, that's what we're going to rise temperature-wise, and we're only going to be sitting low to mid-90s. That is not a bad forecast whatsoever for this time of year. So there's your little science lesson for the day. But that counterclockwise motion always happens around that low. So sorry about that. So around that low, as we can see right there. And so whenever this happens, we get drier conditions on the west side of the low, more moist conditions out there on the east side. So that's why there's so many chances of showers for the entire coastline. We'll see especially later down around Florida, but all of that transitioning into southern areas of Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi, and really getting into the north part of Mississippi since that low is still so close to us. So that's what we're going to be tracking into the next 24, into the next 48 as that moisture continues to linger around. So let's go ahead and look at Futurecast on the broad scale. We can see towards the overnight hours, a lot of that moisture still sticking around coastal regions. So folks that went to the beach, that were bragging about their trip to the beach, you can tell them, well, this is what you get. No, I'm kidding. But those isolated showers and storms still going to be a highlight of some folks' trips down to the beach, unfortunately. So that's going to continue to linger around into Friday morning, Friday afternoon, as that low pressure system remains just outside of the Louisiana coastline. So this is 6 a.m. You can see that moisture primarily going to be around Hattiesburg as far north as it gets. Then it starts moving into Meridian by 9 a.m. By the time we get towards the lunch hour, a few of those storms, a few of those showers try to just make the journey north into North Mississippi. And by noon, we're getting some of those showers already popping up there in North Mississippi. Still, the primary threshold is right down here, but we are getting that moisture because there is so much of it reaching all the way into North Mississippi by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, especially by then. And that'll continue into the evening as well. So by 3 to 6, that's really our time frame for the peak coverage. And that's what we have right here, 30 to 40% coverage from 3 to 6. Have that rain gear ready because that's some of the highest percentages we've had the past couple of days. So that means we'll have the most coverage over the last couple of days. Something we can look forward to because that's more people getting that rain-cooled air, and that'll be good for our forecast because it's been so hot. But temperature-wise, 92 by the afternoon. That is actually below average for this time of year. So finally getting those cooler temperatures, but July is going to be July, right? And we're going to get those hot conditions returning. That's what we'll be talking about here in the next 60 is heat safety, how to stay safe whenever these extreme temperatures come around, and just how high are we getting towards midweek next week. Find out all of that here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10 in the next 60.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. but you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, hey there from Seattle, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon here as we are getting ready to take off and head back to Mississippi. It's been a fun trip up to Canada. We haven't spent a whole lot of time here in Seattle other than getting into town, getting ready to go to the airport the last night, and then of course coming on up today. Obviously, it's going to be hard to acclimate back into real life. I can tell you that I'm certainly excited to get back and starting doing a little bit more weather information going forward. But it has been certainly a nice change of pace to enjoy some of the cooler temperatures that maybe have been a little less fortunate for some folks in Mississippi recently. So we'll be getting back later this evening. Appreciate Gabe and all the folks for keeping things running there behind the scenes for us and in front of the camera back in Mississippi Live Weather while I've been gone. And of course, hopefully you've enjoyed some of these, I don't know if you want to call them vlogs, but certainly opportunities to display some of the splendor that Canada had to offer. So for Mississippi Live Weather from Seattle, as we get ready to head back to Mississippi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, is anyone else sad to see it end? I am. I mean, it's been amazing being a part of Matt's trip over there in Canada. And again, big shout out to him for shooting all that video and showing us all the sights and sounds that he saw. Just being able to be a part of it and experience kind of the cooler conditions through a screen. We'll take what we can get, right? But so far, it's just been hot, muggy, a miserable forecast the last couple of days, but temperatures did get better. Still a hot forecast today. Sharon and Leland shared this picture. This is a gentleman out fishing in the pond, and what better way to stay cool than using Mother Nature herself to stay cool, jumping in the pond and fishing from the pond. I want to know, Sharon, what was the best catch? Because being in the pond, I don't know if that's the secret to catching bigger fish, but I'll take any advice that we can get. As we take a look over there at some of the great sunsets we saw across the region, Abby in Holmes County captured this, just a great sunset off there in the distance as they were driving home. Abby, I hope that you were not the one driving, but if you're in the passenger seat, great shot. But still, weather watchers showing out tonight. This is over in Ballard Park. Emily submitting this picture. You can see some of those cirrus clouds, those cirrostratus clouds that are a bit thicker than those wispy clouds high up in the sky. So that's why we're getting a little bit more of those denser clouds way high up there. But a great shot from Ballard Park. Looks like a great evening out there for any folks that wanted to take advantage of the cooler conditions. And then Noah in Anna Marie Island, Florida. We told you guys you get a look down in Florida. This is a cool shot of the rainbow. I want to say it's a little bit of the shelf right there. But I don't know radar imagery wise when this photo was taken and when that radar was lining up, but still a great shot of the rainbow. So there's at least some moisture and some sun interaction happening to cause those light waves to happen. So great shots. Weather watchers, you guys are popping off tonight. Thank you so much for all your pictures. And please, the more the merrier. We love showing those off and just giving what you guys see, showing it right here at Mississippi Live Weather. And speaking of what you guys see, I want to say and shout out someone in the chat because they thought I wasn't going to notice, but Joey, saying that you got a little bit of rainfall, right? Am I right on that? Columbus. So a little bit of rainfall down there in Columbus. So great news for you guys because I know it's been hot the past couple of days. So hopefully you got some of that rain cooled air and enjoyed it. I do want to say moving into the forecast tomorrow, things are still going to be toasty, just right around average, a little bit below average. And so there's a cool Maynor explainer. We're going to get the whole family involved for the explainer tomorrow that kind of walks through a solar oven, how to do that, how to use the sun to cook some objects. And so we're going to walk through how to make that, what we're going to do, and we're going to get the whole family, like I mentioned. So you might see Miss Maynor, or as some of you guys may know her, Bean, or my wife, on the Maynor Explainer tomorrow. So very excited about that. She's very excited about that. And so we'll be able to show off a little bit of what she can do. She's more of a science mind than what I am. So looking at basically Mississippi Live Weather Radar right now, let's jump back to the weather. It's going to be dry across the region. Those showers that are down around Winston County trying to stick around, but as we mentioned, overall, once it reaches Louisville, crossing Highway 15, just not going to be as much long-lived. Let's go ahead and jump. This is over the last 2 hours. This is looping a bit. And so there's that remnants of showers that are just already starting to dissipate out. So Louisville, you might have dodged it this time as it was fizzling out quicker than even expected based off of what we were seeing radar imagery 10 minutes ago. But those rainfall totals definitely did its mark. I mean, just basically, we said along and south of Highway 82. I mean, that was a spot-on forecast looking at that with trace amounts of rainfall across a good portion south of Highway 82, but down towards Chula and Greenwood, right along 82 there towards Holmes County, had about half of an inch up to possibly an inch in some spots. So that's definitely some dense rainfall. Grenada, same thing. That southeast corner of Calhoun County, southwest corner of Chickasaw County had some dense rainfall. And along the Mississippi River, I mean, if you need any more reason why Mississippi River is an interaction with storms, all of those storms happening right over the top of the Mississippi River. So topography definitely playing a factor, but overall we just enjoyed some of those showers in areas that haven't seen too much rainfall. So that resulted in some cooler temperatures. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Satellite imagery shows some of that cloud cover dying out a little bit. So we'll get some of those clear skies overnight. I know we did get a weather watcher picture from some of our people who like seeing the stars in the sky at night, and shows some cool things with that. I know that we're having a meteor shower over the next couple of weeks. So if you're able to get outside during these clear conditions and get some shots of that, we want them. I want to see them because that's so cool. Technically, we're meteorologists and we have meteor in our name. All the more reason to like it. So hopefully we get some breaks, but if not today, definitely by Sunday and Monday, seeing the breaks in the clouds going forward. But there's a look at the good news, and that has been cooler temperatures. 77 down in Starkville, 79 in Amory. I knew I was not crazy saying low to mid 80s. Those are just the anomalies across the region. We got lucky on our North Mississippi sky cameras, just getting the cooler areas across North Mississippi. But 83 Senatobia, South Haven, 84 towards Clarksdale and Greenwood, 81 Greenville and Belzona. That is a great sign of things to come, and those cooler conditions do stick around for our Friday as well. So day planner, let's just go ahead and walk through that forecast. Again, not cooling off too much because of that blanket in the sky as that cloud cover does build back. But by the time we reach 5 a.m., watch how this just shoots up to 90. So we're warming up quickly, but 90s not happening at 9 or 10 a.m. They're going to be more towards 11 a.m. And then we start to just die out. We start to plateau towards the afternoon. And that's where we're going to be seeing temperatures not reach as bad or as miserable conditions as what we've had. So those rain chances kicking in right at that peak heating time frame. So not only are we going to have cooler temperatures because of atmospheric conditions, we're also going to have cooler temperatures because of the rainfall. It's that rain-cooled air happening, all of those together, putting together a pretty good forecast that you can ask for in July. As good of a forecast as you can ask for in July. So let's soak it in every second while we can. Walking through that futurecast overnight, you can see some of that cloud cover building back into the forecast, and that'll just basically be that blanket in the sky like we're talking about. So keeping temperatures at bay from dropping too much, but some of those clear areas could get down to 74, possibly even 73. That's right around average for this time of year. And low temperatures, I mean, here's what we're talking about. You know, where the cloud cover is not happening, 74, definitely possible. Where that cloud cover is prominent, Mississippi Delta, always ends up in the Delta, going to be that blanket acting as that, not condensing, but keeping that heat in the atmosphere. And that's going to be 76, 77 for our morning commute. We continue the day, though, and that's where the day just builds with cloud cover and builds with more chances of showers and storms. Not by 9 a.m., but as we get towards 12 or 1 o'clock, that's where those chances will really start to pick up. So noontime, really going to see that moisture down around Noxubee, Winston, and Itala County. 1:30 really starting to kick in before we get to that 3 o'clock hour, and you can see how widespread these chances are. So chances a little bit increased from what we had today, but that same prominent area is what we're watching along and south of Highway 82, the best chances of seeing these showers and storms to take place. Now, while we don't expect any severe weather, you can see that some of these get some higher storm tops. We'll be walking through some assessments tomorrow night, but like down around Chula towards 6 o'clock. We're watching some of those storms increase in strength with gusty winds about 20 to 30 miles an hour and even some heavy rainfall, and I expect a pretty electric atmosphere as well. So that's all the reason to say, let's just go ahead and walk through the rules. When thunder roars, you go indoors. When there's heavy rainfall, don't go driving through it, let it pass on through. And then with gusty winds as well, don't be in high-profile vehicles. Don't be at risk to those high winds or anything that could fall over on you. High temperatures tomorrow, though, that's just the great news going forward with upper 80s for far northeast sections of North Mississippi. Down around Louisville, we're getting some of those showers that take place by mid-afternoon. Not expecting to warm up too much, only 89, 89 Oxford, and the rest of us low to maybe even mid-90s Greenwood and Greenville coming in with 94. But that's the highest temperatures for tomorrow. That is not a bad forecast whatsoever because our average high temperatures are 93. We'll take it. Heat indices, though, that's showing a better forecast as well, with double digits actually showing up and really going to be primarily towards the south, but even towards Columbus and Vernon, 99, 98 Boonville and Iuka, 98 over towards Oxford. The rest of us, triple digits. And while you're not seeing 105, heat advisories are still in place tomorrow. And heat advisories are basically another suggestion, another thing to push you to stay as safe as you can. Stay hydrated, stay cool, take frequent breaks. Please don't be outside in the afternoon if you don't have to, because that's where the peak heating happens, and we don't want to be stuck in that heat. We know how dangerous it can be. So into the evening on our Friday, those showers continue to just try and develop, but overall, we're going to be in a much drier pattern as that low forces a little bit more west away from us, and we'll be entering the, lack of daytime heating. We're not going to see as much formation. So towards our Saturday morning, still going to be starting out dry, but that blanket in the sky, definitely going to be keeping those temperatures above average for the start of our day. But by the time we get towards the afternoon, that cloud cover really doing some damage temperature-wise, not letting it warm up the atmosphere too much, that sunshine struggling to get all the way through, and these showers going to help as well keep those temperatures feeling a little bit better than where they should be this time of year. 3 p.m., the sunshine does try to get through as a last push, a last final push, so those temperatures are going to be a bit warmer with increased sunshine, but really not going to see anything too major temperature-wise, right around average for this time of year. We'll see that here in just a moment, but dry conditions move in overnight, and our Sunday is going to be starting out on the drier side. It's going to be a good forecast heading into our Sunday, and definitely a good forecast for folks that are heading out the door to go to church. 93 Houston, Tupelo, Eupora, 89 Boonville, 90 Iuka. I know 89 in Boonville. My wife is going to be happy about that. And also all the Blue Devils up there. But 92 Senatobia, Holly Springs, it's going to be a great forecast across North Mississippi. So let's just go ahead and enjoy these cool temperatures while we have them. Please enjoy them because they do change in the next week. Heat indices still trying to reach the triple digits, but I really don't foresee a lot of heat advisories being in place for Saturday. Maybe out here in the far northwest sections of the Mississippi Delta, probably going to include the entire Delta just to be on the safe side. But northeast side of the state, I really don't have us reaching that heat advisory threshold, so it'll be looking much better. We've already seen it draw back for our Friday with those heat advisories extending into northeast, north of Highway 82, and out there in the Mississippi Delta in its entirety. So we expect these to be drawn back even more for Saturday, a great sign of that trend. But I told you last night that we were going to walk through those wet bulb globe temperatures once again tonight. And the one thing I want to say before we get into this is accessible to everybody. It's right at the palm of your hands. It's free on our website, msliveweather.com. You go there, you go to the forecast section, you scroll down to the map room, or I forgot the exact section, but it says maps in it, and then you click temperatures. Whenever you scroll down in temperatures, it takes you right to all these maps, and it shows the next few days of what those maps will be. And the reason why this is so important is because it factors in several different factors that encompass this measurement. It's going to be UV radiation, it's going to be sun exposure, it's going to be heat, it's also going to be humidity. All of that in one, and you have it right at your fingertips for free. So high risk still in place for our Friday afternoon. That's why for folks out in the Delta that are practicing, it's going to be, a time where you need to take frequent breaks towards the afternoon. But even a few of those getting into Tupelo, Houston, Bruce, we need to be watching that for our forecast tomorrow and not, sending everyone out there that doesn't need to be. If we can do practice indoors by the afternoon, let's get all the outdoor stuff knocked out early before the afternoon forecast kicks off. I know that, I'm talking about my wife a lot, and I will gladly do that. My wife, she's a volleyball coach over at Boonville, and her gym does not have air. So when do they practice? 7 a.m. Knock it out early whenever the temperatures are better, and then once the heat kicks in, they're not in that gym beyond that point. So that's a good thing. So take notes from Bean. She's a wise one. By 2:30 on our Saturday, conditions do look so much better. I mean, we're seeing much more of that moderate rather than high, but high still encompassing a lot of the area. The thing is, no extremes for Saturday, so that's a good sign moving forward. Sunday, there's the sign of things to come. Heat building back into the forecast and that extreme value moving back into the Delta. And even in parts, we're talking about over there towards Bruce or Calhoun City, down around West Point, and even including parts of Aberdeen, over there towards Caledonia. So definitely watching that for our Sunday. And by the time we get towards Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day next week, that extreme value is really going to be sticking around. So it's going to be a hot forecast. And there's ways that we can stay cool. And the biggest one is if you must go outdoors, go early or late in the day and dress in light colored clothing. That is the key one I'm going to say tonight, because there's a certain way that you dress that keeps you cooler. But there's also a certain time of day. And we talked about that in last week's Mainer Explainer, going out as early as possible, 6, 7 a.m. Yes, you got to wake up early, take a nap in the afternoon, and you'll be in the air. But let's also go through the rest of it. Stay indoors in air conditioning whenever possible. And also go to cooling centers if your home doesn't have air. If there's a brief outage, those cooling centers are readily available at any point. Remain hydrated by drinking water. Now, I'll be honest, I've not been good about drinking water tonight. I know I tell you guys I usually get 3. I've only had 1 today, so I need to up that tomorrow. And also check on those most vulnerable to heat, including children and the elderly. Just check the back seat at all points. We don't want to leave children or animals in the cars, because it doesn't take long before that car temperature really starts to climb and it becomes very dangerous for those that are susceptible to it. So make sure to always check the back seat. Put something that's important that you always have on you in the back seat, so you remember to grab it, and remember to grab everything that is in the back seat as well. So just stay as safe as you can. That's the biggest thing that we can say with heat. Heat is the #1 killer in the United States, and there's a reason for that, because we often just put it off as not important because it's not a tornado or it's not a hurricane. This is almost a silent killer because we don't expect it all the time. So Saturday, still isolated in nature with a few of those showers, but by Sunday and Monday, that dangerous heat moves back into the forecast. Mid-90s Sunday. We saw the extreme values. Well, those go even higher for Monday with 97, plenty of sunshine as well. So those wet bulb globe temperatures going to be on the higher side. It's going to be extreme values for a good portion of the state. Tuesday, Wednesday, still going to be upper 90s, trickling into triple digits in some spots, but hopefully that moisture keeps those temperatures at bay. That's why we kind of pulled back from those triple digits, is because usually triple digits happen with much drier conditions. With the wet, moist forecast moving forward, that's where we're going to see, hopefully, some cooling trends going forward. So that's what we're hoping for. We'll, of course, track that out as we head through the next 6 days before, or should I say 5 days before that first possibility of triple digits is in the forecast. So make sure to keep it here at Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest on your forecast. I mean, I want to keep you guys as updated and as safe as possible. Thank you guys again for submitting Weather Watcher pictures. You guys are a big help with that, and we love getting to see what you're seeing out in the field and walking through that forecast. And then stay tuned for Maynard Explainer Edition 2 tomorrow with the whole family. We're excited about that. And do we have a question?
Yeah, it actually sparked a lot of chatter. Since we have had all of this rain all year, we shouldn't be out by fall, right?
Well, funny you mentioned that, and I'm curious, could we actually take this out of play real quick, and if we could put a drought monitor in there? And we got the updated drought monitor today. I was going to air it tomorrow at 5, but we can go ahead and air it now. So let them work on this behind the scenes. Thank you, Caleb, for doing that. But drought monitor is actually starting to trickle into North Mississippi. So here it is, the latest drought monitor. We have that level 1 risk right here in Grenada, Yalobusha County, and then over moving over towards the Delta just a bit. Now, this is the first time we've had a drought monitor for, what, 2-3 months, right? I mean, it's been a while. We've had a very saturated forecast. Ask any farmer in North Mississippi. But moving forward with these drier conditions that are going to be in place even through early next week, expect this to be expanded just a bit. So we still need that rainfall. We're in the peak part of the year where we struggle with rainfall. So as we head through late July, August, and even through parts of September, we definitely want as many rain chances as we can get. And all those rain chances do damage on this right here, the drought monitor. So fortunately, we're only in that level 1 for a very small part, but that could be expanded through parts of next week with how hot and how dry that forecast is looking. So again, we'll take anything we can get. Is that?
Yep.
What was the chatter about? I'm curious.
Everyone's kind of ready for those fall temperatures.
Here, here. Couldn't agree more. So hopefully we'll get some breaking temperatures. Doesn't look like it in the next 7 days. It doesn't look like it in the next 3 months, honestly. We look at that outlook. But yeah, fall, we're a day closer, right? Trending closer and closer as each day passes. So we'll be tracking the latest on those temperatures, hopefully giving some good news tomorrow. And of course, tracking those rain chances. Make sure to stay dry through tomorrow evening. But I do appreciate you guys joining us tonight at 10. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night at 5, 6, and 10. Walk into the very latest on that forecast or have it on the stream. Well, where can we view the stream? On the Mississippi Live Weather app. You can scan the QR code on your screen to get the very latest on that forecast. Stream that 24/7 stream at any point of the day. Gives you glimpses of the North Mississippi Storm Chasers cameras. Beautiful sunsets tonight, might I add. Shout out the North Mississippi Storm Chasers for providing that. But you also get temperatures, you also get outlooks, you also get the drought monitor. You guys can see it for yourself. Also, the msliveweather.com. Head there and get the latest on the wet bulb globe temperature. Coaches, band directors, anyone that needs it for any outdoor activities, go ahead there and you'll get the very latest on how to keep those kids safe. We appreciate you guys so much for your support, and we hope that you guys stay as safe as possible in this dangerous heat. Enjoy the cooler conditions. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt LaPon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt LaPon has proven himself trustworthy.